Go.
This morning I want to tell you a story from Matthew 17:24 through 27. And it's the story of the tribute coin, the miracle of the tribute coin found in the fish's mouth. To give you a quick background on that story, you'd need to go to Exodus 30:11 through 16 and read that. And there was an annual tax that was charged on Jewish males 20 years and older, and this tax was established, and it was a half a shekel, and the money was collected and used to run the sanctuary, to pay the expenses of the sanctuary. It was a contribution to God. So we move from there to Matthew, and Jesus and Peter are traveling, and they enter into Capernaum, the city of Capernaum, and the tax is being collected at that time. Jesus kind of walks by the tax collectors and enters into this house. They catch Peter, and they talk to Peter, and they say, does your master not pay the 2 drachma poll tax? And what about you? And Peter said, well, yes, we pay the tax. I'll have to go see him. I don't have any money. And anyway, so Peter goes to the house where Jesus is, and he walks in the door, and before he can say anything, Jesus says to him, well, Simon, what do you think? Do the kings of the earth charge their sons a tax, or strangers? And Peter says, well, strangers. Jesus said, well, you're right, but at least we offend them or be a stumbling block. I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to take a line and a hook and go down to the sea and catch a fish. And the first fish that you pull up, open his mouth, and there'll be a starter in that. And you can use that starter to pay for you and me. Peter says, okay. And I'm sure he thought about it for a minute. He says, okay. So he finds a line and a hook, and he goes down to the sea, and you coil this line up just so, and there's a little weight on it, and he finds bait, and he puts a bait on it, and he throws the line out into the sea, and no sooner gets it out there, and he gets a tug on it, and he snaps it, and he pulls the line back in, and pulls up this really nice fish. He opens up the fish's mouth, and sure enough, there's a starter in it. Now the starter is the value of a starter is two drachmas. So he takes the starter and he gives it to the tax collectors to pay for him and Jesus. And he, of course, takes the fish home, and they have that for dinner. That's the story of the tribute coin.